Okay, so let's see. Let's talk about that A6 chord thing again. So in a sixth chord in the key of A, that means it's going to have the sixth tone in it, which is F sharp. So if we count in the A major scale, A being 1, B being 2, C sharp being 3, D being 4, E being 5, and F sharp being 6. Okay, to make a major chord, we need 1, 3, and 5. So if I count 1 is A, not going to need the 2. The 3 is the C sharp. The 4 we don't need. The 5 we need, which is E. And then we have the F sharp, which is 6. So if I play an A chord here, just those 4 strings, that's an A chord, normal A major. If I add the F sharp here, that's a 6 chord. That's an A6. If I look here and play A, C sharp, and E in that little triad, if I add the 6th here, that's an A6. Now you can leave the 5th out of a chord. It just gives stability to it. Unless it's sharp or flatted, it's not going to change the sound of the chord at all. It just gives a little bit more meat to it. So if we don't have enough fingers or don't want to play a chord that looks like this, we can get away with just playing the root, the 3rd, and the 6th. Okay, so if that's a 6th chord, there's another one. Now a lot of these, if you take them like this is a D6 right here. Well, I'm going to use that in, if the nut wasn't here, I'd have to bar it like that. So to play an A6 chord, I'm going to slide up here. There's your 6th chord. Okay, so now that we've got the 6, and we said, well, what about 13? 6 and 7 gives us 13. So if my 6 is the F sharp, and the 7 will be a flat 7, it's got to have a G in it. So that would mean there's the octave, F sharp, F sharp. Here's the G and the F sharp together. So if this is an A chord, and I take the root and flatten it a whole step, or take the major 7 and flatten it to a flat 7, we get G. That's an A7 chord. Just that right there. Don't need you can play the root with your thumb if you want. You don't need the root. I could just leave the 5th out too. I could just play these 2 notes and it would be an A7 chord. But what we're doing is, if this is G, that's a flat 7, C sharp is the 3rd, F sharp is going to be the 6th or the 13. There's a 13 chord. Okay, so think of an A7 chord as being a plain hamburger. If you're going to make it an A13 chord, that's an A7, so it's G, A, G is a flat 7, C sharp is a major 3rd, E is the 5. We can leave the 5th out. We have adding a 6 to it, the F sharp, so that's kind of that's got more going on in it. So we'll consider that, that could be a cheeseburger with mustard and onions and whatever else. It's still a dominant chord. We just added an extension to it. If we were to make it a like a 6/9 chord, is usually played. That's all it is. It's a major chord with the 6th and the 9th both in it. So if we were going to play this, that's an A chord. That's a 6/9 chord. But if I take the root note and drop it to the G for the flat 7 and play that, that's a 13/9 chord. Doesn't mean anything except it means it's a 7 chord with a 6th added and a 9th, or the 2 added. But all those little things like that give you a chance to add more notes to than what you were playing already. Say if we were playing in A and you were using your A minor pentatonic. Okay, but we're playing over a major chord, so that means I'm going to use the major 3rd as well. So all of a sudden now, I'm going to add that note to it, the C sharp. Okay, So that gives us a dominant chord, basically. That's a dominant chord with a fourth in it as well, but we can use that. The fourth doesn't have a whole lot of strength to it, but it can be used for sure. So if we have, but if we played a 13 chord, that means it's the A7. Now I've got the F sharp in there as well. So, well, wait a minute. If I just played the notes in the chord, if I played A, there's your A. If I play A7, now if I have the F sharp because it's a 13 chord, everywhere I can have an F sharp, I can add that too, because if it works in one place, it's going to work in another. So we have the blues. I'm sorry, the minor pentatonic. We have the minor pentatonic with the major third added. We have the major third added plus the sixth. That's a whole lot of extra notes. We're getting somewhere. So rather than something like that, I could add the F sharp here. So all I did, took the basic notes and added the F sharp to that. Here's my A chord, my dominant 7 chord. Then I made it a 13 by adding the F sharp. It's a whole lot more to work with. And you can do things like, you know, since we're using the F sharp and the A and the G, you can add that. Lots of things you can do by just bending a half step. Okay, so if we go back here, and we had the minor pentatonic, that was the kind of blues thing everybody plays. Okay, if we look at that, it's an A minor blues, A minor pentatonic. Okay, if I add the flatted fifth to it, that's a blues scale. So all that is a normal minor pentatonic with a flatted fifth added. Okay, but now you're thinking, well, wait a minute. I just added the flat 5 and the 6 and the major third. Now we are starting to stretch out here. So by using that minor third here and then using the flat 5, if I bend that a half step, also you'll notice that you play that flat 5 there versus here, it sounds different. Same note. So that's with the blues scale. And we have the minor pentatonic. Then we have the minor pentatonic with the major third. If it's over a major chord. We wouldn't play that major third over a minor chord unless the melody was, unless we had a chord like that A7 raised 9. You typically wouldn't do it. So again, so all of a sudden we're adding all these notes to it, and we really didn't do much different. It's just little teeny things that show us how to combine the stuff. So with the blues scale, we have A, C, D, E flat, E, G, A. Well, the funny thing is, if you were to play diminished, like a diminished chord, you have, the diminished scale is made up of from where an A diminished, a C diminished, an E flat diminished, an F sharp diminished, they're all the same scale. They can be named by any notes in that scale or in that chord. So if I play this, the blues scale, okay, if I play diminished, wow, it was only, I still had the flat 5, we're using the F sharp already, and the A and the C. So that's diminished. And all of a sudden, you can add more color to it that way. But again, all I'm doing is taking these little teeny things and adding them to my basic A scale, whether it be an A minor pentatonic, an A minor with a major third, the blues scale, and then the diminished scale. So, and we didn't, that's not, we're not thinking about modes. All we're thinking about is what chord we're playing over and what's that chord made up of, and whether, if that chord has a note in it, we can sure as heck play it when we're soloing. But that doesn't mean we can only play the notes in the chord, obviously. So, hopefully that will help a little bit. Okay, thanks.